Youth can be so captivating and engaging that evidence and policy enthusiasts like myself sometimes struggle to draw the line when to disengage. We want to talk. Please allow me to stop here and take this opportunity to welcome, let me read the names properly. Let me welcome.
So target the negative attitude by the youth towards agriculture. For those of us who have interacted with the Kenya Youth Agribusiness Strategy 2018-2022, top amongst the challenges that was addressed in that Kenya Youth Agribusiness Strategy, you can get it online. Top amongst those challenges was the negative perceptions and attitude towards agriculture by the youth. So we thought it wise that some of the interventions that we proposed was reintroducing agriculture as a subject in primary schools and also reintroducing the clubs in primary schools. We are talking of catching them young at that tender age. Wahenga walinena kwamba mtoto mleavyo ndivyo akuavyo, so that later on in life you don't come back and run what you call helter-skelter, struggling to convince the youth to come back to agriculture. So we thought it wise that we reintroduce those clubs, revive them and rebrand them. There are several components of the revived 4K clubs. If you look at our website, the 4K Club of Kenya website, you can check it and you'll be able to see the 4K Club manual that we developed. It brings out those issues of reviving and rebranding of those clubs to make them more attractive so that we would sustain those clubs. And as we're talking now, there's a directive to all primary schools that they must establish the 4K clubs. Both public and private primary schools have been directed to establish those clubs. And you can imagine the multiplier effect if all those primary schools have those clubs in place and they have those active clubs and the kids are members of those clubs. As they grow up, as they come out of those primary schools, they move to the secondary schools where we have the young farmers clubs, and then they finally get out of school, what you call the out-of-school youth. You can imagine the impact. We already have a youth which is sensitized, socialized at that tender age to be able to appreciate and acknowledge that there are a lot of opportunities in the agriculture sector. And I'm sure most of us in our families, for those of us who have families, you ask your kids what they would wish to be when they grow up, and I'm sure most of us, watoto wanasema, I want to be an engineer, a pilot, an ICT, blah, blah. None of them, I'm sure, talk of being agripreneurs or agriculture or farmers for that matter. How many of us chose at that tender age to become farmers? I'm sure none, or if any few. You came across some opportunities later on in life and decided that probably I would try it out and make money out of farming. But we are talking of catching them young at that tender age so that we're able to address that negative perception and attitude towards agriculture. So thank you so much, and I trust and believe that we're going to have a fruitful deliberation of this over these 2 days, and at the end of it, I'm sure we are going to have a good way forward. Thank you, Dr. Dame. Thank you, my colleagues from PSDR, Alternatives Africa, and government representatives. Thank you so much, and wish you a fruitful deliberation over these 2 days. Thank you, and God bless.
Well, that is coming to us from the Windsor Golf Club, and it is the Utafiti Sera conference by the PASGR, and it's just focusing on how the youth are supposed to get employment or open up opportunities for the youth in the agriculture sector, with the mindset of the youth against agriculture really being quite a point of concern there. The government bringing back the 4K clubs in schools to just ensure that the young people are introduced early to agriculture and that they can maybe venture into agriculture in their adulthood. Of course, our reporter Hibak Said is on the ground there, and she will be bringing us that report in full in our subsequent bulletins.